everyone, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a card using the oval flip it die set from the Stamps of Life. And this set will be for sale on HSN. So if you like this set, you'll need to head over there and do a search for the Stamps of Life. And then you should be able to purchase it on the HSN website. And this set includes the die to make your card base. So this is the flip it card base, as well as the layering pieces for the card base. Now, there is going to be the flip it die set, which is this set, and there's also going to be an add-on set. Now, at the time that I'm filming this, I don't know what's included in the add-on set. I know there will be at least one sentiment, maybe more, included in the flip it set when you purchase that, but I don't know which pieces that you see here will be included in the add-on set. So I'm just gonna go through these real quick. So if you're interested in this, take a look at HSN's website and both sets should be there listed for you. So you have a sentiment that can go in the center of the oval. It says happy birthday. There is a thinking of you, hello, there's a cupcake, and there are some dragonflies. I believe there's also a just a note sentiment, and I'm not sure if there's going to be any others. So again, go to the HSN's website and take a look and see what's included in the flip it die set and also the add-on companion set. So when I'm starting out to make a card, I always like to look through my pattern paper pads and see what paper I want to use. And I've chosen the Happy Birthday collection from the Stamps of Life. And I'm looking at the colors in this pad, and also the colors are listed down at the bottom. And these colors coordinate with the colored cardstock that the Stamps of Life sells. So this pad has the candy, guava, kiwi, green apple, banana, lemonade, ocean, and sea glass colors within it in their pattern papers. And this is so much fun for a birthday. And I know I want to make a birthday card. I want to use this cupcake, and I also want to use the happy birthday sentiment for my card today. So first thing I do is I always select pattern paper, and I actually have these scraps on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and use these scraps for my layering pieces on my flip it card. And then I'm going to look at the colors within here and also look here at the bottom of this paper pad and see what colors coordinate with this. And I've chosen to use the guava, which is this dark pink color, as my card base. I think that if I layer these panels on a dark pink colored card base, it would make this card really pop. So what I have done is I have taken my large die in the set, this makes my card base, and I die cut this on a piece of guava cardstock. So when that comes out of the die cut machine, it does have some score lines here, and then you can see the large oval piece that's in the middle that you put your sentiment on. So basically you can just fold here at the score lines. And once you have folded at the score lines, you have your card base. And this is the actual card base to make your flip it card. And when you are working with this card, I want you to keep in mind that the smaller panel is always in the front or on the left, and then the larger panel is always on the right or in the back. And then you can decorate these panels, and you can decorate this front piece as well as this back piece. So I'm going to set that aside for just a moment. And now I'm going to die cut my layering pieces. So again, I've chosen to use these scraps that I already had cut out of that pattern paper. And I am going to use the larger panel on this sheet, and then the smaller panel on this sheet. Now, it is important that if you have a directional paper that you're die cutting it in the right direction, okay? So how do you know which direction your panels are? If you look at your die, it will have the words or the company name, it's the Stamps of Life, at the top so that you know that it is going in the right direction. So here I have the Stamps of Life engraved in that die, so I know it's going in the right direction. So that's how I want to lay my panel or my panel die over top of my cardstock. So if you have a directional paper that is important to remember because you don't want the direction of the paper to be upside down. Now here with these candles, it doesn't really matter because they're all kind of going different ways anyway, but that's just something to keep in mind if you have some other paper that you're working with that does have a direction on it. So I do want these candles to be straight. So I don't want them to be, you know, off-centered. So I am going to tape this down, just make sure this die is as straight as I can get it. And same with this, I want these squiggly lines to be straight and not, you know, off balance there. So I'm just going to put some washi tape here to hold these down, and then I'll run these through my die cut machine. So here are the panels that I'm going to use for my card, and now I'm going to die cut an oval shape for the front and back. So I'm going to take this oval here, and I die cut 2 ovals out of the banana cardstock, and you can see that that matches perfectly. This was also another color that's in that paper pad, so I have one for the front and one for the back. Now I'm going to die cut the sentiment happy birthday. Now these are drop-in dies. These dies don't actually cut an oval out. What you have to do is you have to drop it in this large oval in order to cut that happy birthday out. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of guava cardstock. I did put some double-sided adhesive tape on the back of that, and I am going to tape this down, and then making sure that when you are using these drop-ins that the words are completely centered within the oval, because you don't want it up closer to the top or closer to the bottom, because then what's going to happen is you're going to have a thinner outline in one section and a thicker outline in another section. And you'll see what I'm talking about once I get this die cut. So I'm going to go ahead and put some washi tape on here and then run that through my die cut machine. So what that does is it cuts the oval out, but it also will cut these words out. So here's the line. Let me go ahead and weed this a little bit just so that you can see. So if I take all these extra pieces off of here, you'll be able to see that the word happy birthday is actually cut out of this sentiment. Okay, so you also have this line around it. So if your die is not perfectly centered within that oval, maybe it's up too high, you might have a thinner line or a thinner border going around one section than you do the other section. So what happens now is that this piece will actually layer perfectly on top of this oval that I cut out. So you can, if you wanted to, you can die cut this in a different color and just smack it down right on that section, but I chose to have a different color in the background just to add some more contrast. So I'm going to go ahead and just weed this out, and then I will put this on my yellow. So now this will fit perfectly on top of this yellow oval, because remember, these were cut out of the same die. Okay, so there it is. There's the happy birthday. Now I'm going to die cut this cupcake. So I've been experimenting with this cupcake die to see what all these layers cut out. And you have your shadow layer, which I die cut that out of the white cardstock. And then I just want to show you this real quick. So when this piece is die cut by itself like that, it actually cuts this, you can see the cupcake design through the paper. So it actually, I should say, it cuts it into the paper, which is a really neat effect. I kind of like that effect. So if you wanted to just cut a cupcake design into your paper, you can just use this by itself. But if you use these pieces together, so the smaller outline with the actual cupcake layer, it's going to actually cut it out of your paper, and it's going to give you this, which also is another neat effect. So if you had, well, if you had a shadow layer to layer that on, that is a neat outline as well. So this piece, no matter if it's cut by itself or if it's cut layered like this, it's gonna cut out all of these little pieces. So you can see I have all these little pieces cut out. So what I think I'm gonna do, and I probably should have put some double-sided adhesive on the back of this, and I might run this through my die cut machine again just to add some double-sided adhesive. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pattern paper up here at the top. So part of that paper pad, I have some pattern paper. It has these little dots on it. Reminds me of little sprinkles. So I just die cut the top of that, and I will be able to piece all of these pieces back in here. And then for the bottom, I'm just going to use the guava cardstock to fill in the pieces at the bottom. So you can come back in and piece papers back in to this particular die, or you can leave it just as you see it here. So I went ahead and die cut that again. I did have double-sided adhesive on the back, so it's going to be easier to stick this down to the shadow layer. And then these green polka dot pieces, I did not, so I'm just going to put some glue on the back of these and add these in. So I went ahead and die cut the bottom portion of this out of some banana cardstock. I just thought maybe that would bring a better accent color than just keeping it all pink at the bottom. So I'm going to plug these in here. What a cute cupcake. Look how cute that is. I love that. Okay, so I am also going to, I want a candle on this. So I had some scraps from when I die cut this paper. So I just took my scissors and I just fussy cut out one of the candles, and I'll be able to add that right to the top. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue just at the bottom of this and add that to this top layer. So before I adhere everything down, I am going to take some guava ink and just add some ink to the edges of this, of both of the layers. And now I'm ready to add these layers to my card. So I'm just going to turn these over and add some glue and start applying all the layers. Next I have some polka dotted green ribbon and then just some banana ribbon. And I'm going to layer these, so I just cut them the same size, and I am going to add them here on the side of my card. And then I'm just going to trim. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment on the inside. I probably should have done this before I adhered this oval, but this was an afterthought. Now you could actually leave this blank, so if you wanted to write your own message, this is where you can add it. So if you add a sentiment, you can do that as well. Or you can add a sentiment. You can always write your message on the back, however you want to do that. I'm going to be bringing in a sentiment from the Happy Birthday for HSN stamps. These were previously on HSN. They are from the Stamps of Life. And I am just going to stamp out "Have a Fabulous Birthday," and then that will complete this card. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put some epoxy dots, just a couple right here on the sentiment, and that will complete this card. So there is my quick and easy oval flip it. I love to make flip it cards, especially when I need a quick card. You saw how quick and easy that was to put together. There wasn't much thought into it. I mean, of course there was a little bit of thought into it, but not a whole lot, because all of the dies were included. Really, you just have to pick out what color papers and what pattern paper you want to use, and then you have yourself a card. I just love how that turned out. So if you liked this video, go ahead and give me a like, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more card making inspiration. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.